Hey, what's up YouTube? This is going to be a video on the Armed Dragon deck. I'm going to be doing a deck breakdown, talking about individual cards in this version of the deck. This is a stun variant where I run Skill Drain in the main deck and a lot of hand traps. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Starting off, we got 3 copies of Maxx, 3 copies of Ash Blossom. You maybe already know what they do, but I'm going to explain it real quick for those who don't. Maxx allows you to draw cards if your opponent special summons by discarding this. Ash Blossom stops your opponent from adding a card from their deck to their hand or special summoning a card from their deck. 3 copies of Armed Dragon level 3. Armed Dragons have a unique effect where if they're sent to the graveyard to activate a Dragon Monster's effect, you can add or do something. This one is you get to draw a card. The level 5 variant is when he's sent to the graveyard, you can add any Wind Dragon that's level 5 or higher. That's any, so you can do a lot of things with this. And then the level 7 one is when he's sent to the graveyard, you can add any Armed Dragon card. That doesn't just mean monsters, you can add the spell or traps. As for the spell or traps, we're only running this one. There's other ones that you can run. There's one called Armed Dragon Flash, and there's also Armed Dragon Blitz. Flash is a little more better, but we're not running it in this variant because I just think I don't really like Armed Dragon level 3 on the field. We're not running like a combo deck where we go into XYZs or like rank 3s, so I don't really feel like this card is necessary. Also, the trap card is pretty cool, and you can run it. It's kind of fun, and it is very searchable in this deck. I just chose not to run it in this build. And then we have another Armed Dragon card in the main deck that's called Howl Armed Dragon. This is probably the best Armed Dragon in the deck, hands down. Send one other Wind Monster special summon this. It activates all the effects if you send one of the Armed Dragons. Also, you get to send an Armed Dragon from your deck to the graveyard and boost this guy's attack. The only downside is that only one monster can attack that turn. But honestly, being able to send any Armed Dragon from your deck to the graveyard and it activates their effects, also for some reason it works under Skill Drain, it's just amazing. It's an amazing good card. And then I guess the final Armed Dragon monster we run is Armed Dragon level 10 White Veil. He is banish Armed Dragons in your graveyard that equal level 10. That's either 2 level 5s or a level 3 and a level 7. It's very easy to get them in the graveyard with this deck. When you summon, you can add a spell card called White Veil. Its effect is like when this guy attacks or any card that's equipped to it attacks, you can destroy all opponent's spell or traps. They can't activate anything in response. The downside is that when the spell card is destroyed, you take like 3000 damage. This guy kind of negates the downside by saying you take no effect damage, so that's kind of cool. Also, when this guy attacks, you can destroy one card on the field. It doesn't target, so it gets around cards that say they can't be targeted. Also, your opponent can't like say like, oh, I'm going to chain when he targets. They have to chain to the attack. So if they don't chain to the attack, they lose a card, and it might be the card that they wanted to activate anyways. There's 2 Armed Dragons we're not running, which you might consider running. The first one being Armed Dragon, the Armored Dragon. This one is if he destroys a monster by battle, you can special summon a Wind Dragon that's level 5 or lower from your deck or hand. Pretty cool effect. We're not running it mainly because like this deck is kind of consistent and it kind of has a really like well-worked engine. This guy kind of seems like if I did run him, I'd probably run him at 1, and I probably wouldn't go into him that much because our normal summon is genuinely used by other things. And the final card we're not running, which you might consider, is called Armed Dragon level 10. The easiest way to bring him out is by having Armed Dragon level 7 on the field, and then sending one monster from your hand to the graveyard and special summoning this guy from the deck. Other than that, like getting Armed Dragon level 7 on the field is kind of hard. You either have to like rank him up or whatever, like level him up using Armed Dragon level 5, or you can just do like the easy way is Return of the Dragon Lords, just special summon him onto the field. You might be able to figure out something else, but the reason we're not running this guy is because he's kind of hard to bring out. But his effect's really good. The first effect is his name becomes that, which is, yeah, it's okay, it's whatever. The second one is control of it cannot be switched. The third one is cannot be destroyed by battle, which is kind of huge. And then the third one, which is the most important, is once during your opponent's turn, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, target one card on the field, destroy it, and this card gains 1000 attack. And then, if you somehow manage to get this guy to 10,000 attack, which is really easy in this deck because you have a trap that can boost its attack up by like 1000, and you also have a spell card that can boost its attack by like 1000 every turn, and then you also have like a card that can boost its attack. It's really easy to boost this guy's attack to 10,000. His effect is you can destroy all other cards on the field. He just nukes the board. Everything just gets destroyed, even your own card cell. He's cool. The reason again we're not running him is because he's kind of hard to bring out. The only real way to bring him out is Armed Dragon level 7 on the field. And getting Armed Dragon level 7 on the field is kind of hard on its own. A unique card we're running in this deck is Artillery Catapult Turtle. It has the effect where you contribute one monster including itself, special summon a level 5 dragon from your deck. The best level 5 dragon you can bring out is either Armed Dragon Thunder, which he's okay, but the best one is Darkflare Dragon. Darkflare has a unique effect where you can send one dragon from your hand and then one from your deck. That's the cost, which means if it's under skill drain, you can still activate the effect, as you'll see in the replays, and then you can banish one card in either player's graveyard. It's a really good effect. I love this card. We're only running one copy because it's kind of a brick in the hand. You want it in your deck to bring out with Artillery Catapult Turtle, and sadly Artillery Catapult Turtle is not searchable in this deck. So the only real way to get to it is by drawing. But this deck has a lot of searchability, as you'll see with the next card, Tempest. Tempest is insane. It's easy to add with Arm Dragon level 5, because Arm Dragon level 5 can add any level 5 or higher wind monster. Tempest, you discard, and one wind monster, and then you can add one dragon monster from your deck to your hand. That includes like pretty much everything in the deck that aside from Catapult Turtle and the hand traps. Also, he has a graveyard effect where you can banish 2 wind or dragon monsters, special summon this guy. And then he has another effect where if he's banished, you can add 1 wind dragon from your deck to your hand. Very good card. You'll see in the replays, I search him out a lot just because I want to be able to get all my Arm Dragon effects every single turn. And then we run another card that's like Tempest, but a little weaker. It's called Dragunity Arma. He has a graveyard effect where you can banish 2 dragon or winged beasts from your graveyard and special summon him from your hand or graveyard. Also, target 1 face-up card on the field, negate its effects. He has another effect where it's like if you destroy something by battle, you can equip it, which might come up a little bit. For spell traps, we run Raigeki, Harpie's Feather Duster, 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. This card's really good. Special summon a dragon from your graveyard. Also has a graveyard effect where you can banish it, protect your dragons. Really super cool card. Sadly, I wish it was searchable, but it's not. It is very good in this deck though. It's very good. Pot of Extravagance works really well in this deck also, because you don't really go into the extra deck that much, and if you do go into the extra deck, you only go into like 2 monsters, rank 7 dragon monsters or rank 10. So what I did in the extra deck, and I'll talk about it real quick, I'll hover over it, is I just put multiple copies of the cards that I want to keep in the extra deck, because Pot of Extravagance banishes random cards from your extra deck, and usually I banish 6 cards to draw 2, so it becomes like a Pot of Greed. The only downside of this card in this deck is that it says for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot draw any cards by card effects. So that means that if you activate Pot, and then you try to activate like Arm Dragon level 3, you won't be able to get the effect. You won't be able to draw something. So that kind of does suck. That's the only downside I see in this card in this deck. Then we run Lightning Storm. It's pretty much Raigeki and Harpie's Feather Duster combined. Then 2 Called by the Grave, because it's kind of like a hand trap, and we're running more of a stun variant where we want to stop our opponent as much as we can. And then finally, the most important card, Skill Drain. Skill Drain works really well in this deck. Pile Driver is able to send from your deck under Skill Drain. Darkflare is able to send from your deck under Skill Drain. The Armed Dragons are able to still send from your hand to activate the effects under Skill Drain. Skill Drain's amazing. It's just amazing in this deck. The extra deck is multiple copies of cards that I really want to have access to just in case they get banished with Pot of Extravagance. A really special thing about this deck is when Armed Dragon level 7 is detached as material for a Dragon XYZ, you can get the effect. So as long as it's a material for any one of these, and some of them are quick effects, which mean you can use them during your opponent's turn, you'll be able to get the effect on your opponent's turn, which is really cool. I'll be clicking over them. This guy is detached to destroy 1 face-up card your opponent controls. If he has dragon monsters as material, you can activate it during your opponent's turn. So it's like it's a disrupt that you can use during your opponent's turn. Really good. Just some generic rank 10s I put in there just because I had them in my collection. And my favorite card in the extra deck, Dark Anthem Dragon. It's a quick effect. Half your opponent's monsters attack. This gains the difference of what it lost. Also, if this card's destroyed, since it's a pendulum, it gets set as like a continuous spell card. And the spell card's effect is pretty much you can half an opponent's monster's attack. Very good card. I like it because it's a quick play. It's also a dragon rank 7, so it works well in this deck. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. I'll be going into the replays, and I really hope you like this video. If you do, feel free to subscribe or feel free to like the video. It'll show a lot of support to me. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Our opening hand's pretty good. We got Skill Drain so we can negate monster effects next turn after we set it. Called by the Grave so we can negate a hand trap. And we top deck Pal Armed Dragon. So I'll be showing off a little combo right here. He's going to try to Ash Blossom. I could let this go through because honestly we can still do combo even if our thing gets Ash Blossom, but I'm going to Call by the Grave it just because I want to show like a good example of what we can do. All Armed Dragon can send from the deck to the graveyard. Armed Dragon level 7 is going to add us a card from our deck. I generally like to add Armed Dragon Lightning if we already have an Armed Dragon on the field, because this card has the effect where we can add one from our graveyard to our hand so we get more resources. This guy can either send level 3 or level 5. Level 3 lets us draw one, level 5 lets us add any other dragon. I'm going to add Tempest here because Tempest has an effect where I can discard, which is going to come up later in the duel. Darkflare Dragon, send one dragon from our hand to the graveyard, send one from our deck. Both of these effects work on our skill drain. I'm going to send Tempest from our hand. Tempest can activate in the graveyard, like banishing other dragons. And from the deck, I'm going to send Armed Dragon level 5. So far this turn, I already activated level 3, level 5, and level 7. I activated all the Armed Dragon effects, and I've gotten all the advantage. And we have a skill drain we're sitting on. The only thing we have to really worry about is either Raigeki, or not even Raigeki, we can use Armed Dragon Lightning, or Harpie's Feather Duster, and it gets rid of our skill drain. But I mean, sitting on a skill drain is pretty strong. We're just going to flip it up right away, negate his effect. And I think here is where he does something to bring out like the Felgrand that's in his graveyard. And I believe he's still able to activate a certain effect to bring out Felgrand. Which is kind of cool, it works under skill drain, which I didn't know about. Felgrand's effect's negated, and then he's just going to end his turn, he's not going to attack. Okay. So here at the start of our turn, right away we're going to use Armed Dragon Lightning so we can get some resources from our graveyard. And then we can activate Darkflare, and even though we're under skill drain, we can still send from the deck to the graveyard. We send Armed Dragon level 5 and we send Armed Dragon level 3. One gets us a draw, one gets us an add. And then we still have Pile Driver, which we can send a monster from our deck to the graveyard too. Look at the cards in our hand, dude. We have so much advantage. And we're going to get even more because we're going to get another add. So honestly, if you wanted to, you can run like more of the Armed Dragon spell or traps because they're really searchable, like really searchable. We're going to bring out White just because he's a 3k body. We're going to bring out another Pile Armed Dragon. Honestly, we can bring out a Tempest in our graveyard. We can bring out some more things. Like we're able to like just win the duel right there. Okay, so last duel showed off how this deck works under skill drain, which is really cool because any deck that works under skill drain I think is really powerful. And then this one is against Live Twin. I'm going to negate his spell card because I don't really know that much about Live Twin, but anything that says add, I kind of want to stop that because I feel like he might not have a good hand. And he didn't have a really good hand because he just normal summons something and passes. Right away I'm going to use Lightning Storm because I want to get rid of that trap, and also that spell might be annoying. This trap with a Forbidden Droplet, so I'm glad I got rid of it. And one thing here is I summoned Artillery Catapult Turtle, and I went straight into battle phase and attacked. Rather than try to use his effect, the only thing I'm really afraid of is Ash Blossom, because if my thing gets Ash Blossom, I'm going to be kind of down, and he might be able to come back next turn. I'm not really afraid of Maxx. Ash Blossom was a real thing, because it really counters this card. Like, let's say he activates Ash Blossom after I tribute, I like lose a monster, and I don't really gain anything from it. But it's just a Maxx, so it's not a big deal. Catapult Turtle is going to go through. Darkflare is going to activate the effect, send a monster from my hand. I'm going to get 2 effects here. Banish his Live Twin from his graveyard. I think I add the spell here, because I generally like adding the Armed Dragon spell, because I just like getting resources from my graveyard. And I'm going to add a Tempest, because I have a level 3 in my hand, so I'm going to be able to send that as cost for Tempest to add any dragon. I'm also going to activate this. I didn't need to activate Return of the Dragon Lords, honestly, simply because I was under Maxx and I'm giving my opponent a card, but the graveyard effect is so powerful. To protect my dragons from battle or card effect, I just wanted that protection because I don't know what's going to happen, and I want to be able to survive next turn. So I'm willing to give him 1 card for it. And then here I'm just going to be getting a little bit of advantage, and I think I just end my turn here. He's going to do his basic combo, special summon some things. That's a really good card that he just top decked. Pot of Desire, so he's able to get a lot of cards. 2 cards. Basic combo, bring up 2 things. So right here, the Evil Twins have an effect where it's like, when one special summon and you control another one, you can destroy a card, or you can like do something else, draw a card. So he's going to choose to destroy here. I'm just going to activate Return of the Dragon Lords and like pretty much protect my monster. And he passes, and then I'll just show. I use Darkflare Dragon, send a monster from my hand to the graveyard, banish his monster in his graveyard. Bunch of effects. Just one lets me draw, one lets me add. Just, dude, like every single turn, I get these effects. It's so cool. It's so cool. I'm going to summon a Pile Armed Dragon. I'm going to just try to summon as many things as I can because I'm going to try to overwhelm him. So summon that, and then... So White has an effect where when he attacks, I explained this in the deck profile, you can destroy 1 card on the field. This does not target, so if he had any effect, I don't really know what his cards do. But if he had any effect that says, oh, cannot be targeted, or like, you can like chain it, he has to chain to the attack. If he chains to like thinking like it's gonna be targeted, it's not gonna work. So you can trick some opponents like that. And then I think I'm just able to attack for game here, right? Yeah. This is gonna be one of the last replays. There's gonna be a secret one at the end, but that's more of like a meme one. This one, basic combo. You're gonna see me doing this all the time, trying to activate as many Armed Dragon effects as I can. And Powell Armed Dragon is going to allow me to send from my deck to the graveyard, which is really cool. Tempest is kind of like an Armed Dragon. It's very searchable, and also has the effect where I can send one from my hand to the graveyard and add one. So I'm able to trigger the draw effect from level 3. I'm just going to end on that. I don't negate Allure with my Ash Blossom just because Allure is kind of like draw 2, banish 1. He just like kind of reshuffles his hand. That's all Allure really does. The cards that I want to negate are the ones that let him add specifically what he wants, which is, or like let him get more advantage, like the Pot of Greed cards. This one lets him add any Dark Lord, so I can turn his bad hand into a good hand, so I'm going to have to negate this. Because if he gets the one card he needs, he's probably going to be able to pop off. So I'm going to stop that, and he's just going to set 1, and I'm not really afraid of that spell or trap, so I'm just like, yeah, I'll just try to summon as many monsters as I can. And using all my resources, using everything, he's going to activate Maxx. I'm like, not a really big deal. Call by the Grave, negate it. And unless he has like an Ash Blossom, which I don't think he does because he probably would have used it already, I'm just going to be able to special summon as many as I want. So yeah, pretty much while this is going on in the background, I just want to say, oh yeah, real quick. He activates Mirror Force on my monsters, and normally that would be really bad for me, but the spell card that's searchable in this deck, the Armed Dragon one that I brought out like every single duel, it's really good because it has an effect where if any number of them would be destroyed by card effect, just send this to the graveyard instead. So it came in clutch. But yeah, pretty much I just want to say, Armed Dragon, dude, it's a super fun deck. Is it super competitively viable? I definitely think it's like tier 3, tier 2. What that means, it's like, it's not the absolute best, but it is pretty good. You can win a lot of duels with it if you like manage to draw good. It's a super fun deck, plus it's like a dragon deck. I love dragon decks. Anyways, if you really like this video, feel free to subscribe or like. It shows a lot of support to me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day or night, and maybe I'll catch you later. Peace.